Honorable Deputy Speaker, on the 23rd of February this year, I tabled before this House the 2022-23 budget. In it, I announced that there would be no increases to the general fuel levy on petrol and diesel. I also indicated that there would be no increase to the road accident fund levy for the 2022-23 fiscal year. These measures were taken despite our constrained fiscal position. Our aim was to protect in particular poor households who spent the majority of their income on food and transport against record high increases in fuel prices. Our commitment in the 2022 budget was to strike a delicate balance between keeping money in the pockets of our people amid the economic shock of COVID-19 pandemic, while at the same time striving to restore the health of our public finances. By refraining from including an inflationary increase to fuel levy and road accident fund levy, we managed to provide much needed relief to South Africans to the value of 3.5 billion. In addition, I indicated at the time of the budget that Minister Mantashe and I had agreed to review all aspects of the fuel price levy regulation. Let me emphasize again that this was in recognition of the increased cost of living for all South Africans, as well as the need to do what we can within our limited resources to support the economic recovery. However, the day after I tabled the budget, we woke up to the news of the escalation in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The conflict will almost certainly intensify some of the risks we had already highlighted in the budget review 2022, specifically the risk of continued supply disruption and high inflation. A few weeks ago, during my address to this House, I spelled out some of these risks and the likely impact that the conflict may have on our economy and revenue proposals. A big concern for the South African economy is imported inflation with direct impact on fuel and food prices. We are equally concerned about the secondary effects on the rest of the economy and the overall impact on the local and global economic recovery that was beginning to take root. While the most recent data released by State SA showed a slight upside in the growth of the gross domestic product, when compared with National Treasury's estimates for 2021, the growth outlook going forward is much less promising and subject to new emerging risks. Most notable is the Russia-Ukraine conflict. In addition, the re-emergence of the COVID-19 virus in China and the consequent lockdowns, which are increasing constraints on global supply chains, are also of concern. Well, okay, I was going to. Deputy Speaker, since the start of the conflict, there has already been sharp increases in the price of crude oil. This has had a direct impact on fuel prices in our country. In March of this year, the petrol price rose to 21.60 cents per litre for unleaded petrol in the inland region, while diesel prices rose to 19.55 cents per litre. Of concern is that the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy has already advised that fuel prices in April are likely to increase even further. Honourable members, to mitigate the impact of these escalating fuel prices, I hereby table the following proposal, which will be included in the 2022 rates and monetary amounts and amendments of revenue laws bill for consideration by this House. A temporary reduction of the general fuel levy by R1.50 per litre for the period 16th of April to 31st of May 2022. This will reduce the levy for petrol from R3.85 per litre to R2.35 per litre, and the levy on diesel to R3.07 per litre to R2.20 per litre. Of course, these amounts exclude the levies such as the Road Accident Fund levy and the Carbon Fuel levy. The intention of the temporary reduction of the fuel levy is to support a phasing in the fuel price increases that we are expecting in the short term. This will go somewhere in assisting South Africans to adjust to the new reality. Deputy Speaker, the proposed reduction of the general fuel levy for a period of 2 months will not require adjustment to the annual national budget, as the proposal is expected not to have an impact on the fiscal framework. The proposed reduction of the general fuel levy will be funded by a liquidation of a portion of the strategic crude oil reserves. In this instance, the revenue foregone by the reduction in the levies will be recouped through a sale of strategic crude oil reserves, which are held by the Strategic Fuel Fund, which is a subsidiary of the Central Energy Fund. The sale will be required to raise around R6 billion. The sale will be authorized by the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, and the funds will be deposited into the Equalization Fund at the Central Energy Fund. The Minister of Finance and the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy have the authority to approve the release of funds from the Equalization Fund to the National Revenue Fund in terms of the CEF Act number 38 of 1977. Deputy Speaker, the fuel levy reduction will be temporary. A broad package of relief measures will be explored, and they will come into effect after the expiry of the 2 months fuel levy reduction. In this regard, the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy proposes the following package of measures to be introduced after the expiry of the temporary measures from Wednesday, the 1st of June 2022. A reduction in the basic fuel price of 3 cents per litre in line with the recommendation of the review done by DMRE. A termination of the demand side management of 10 cents per litre, particularly in the Gauteng province. An introduction of the price cap of the 19-octane petrol following from the previous DMR proposals and on consultation. This means that retailers can sell below the regulated price. The termination of the practice to publish government guidance by the DMRE on diesel prices to promote greater competition. The regulatory accounting system, including the retail margins, wholesale margin, secondary storage, and distribution margins, will be reviewed to assess whether adjustment can be made to lower the margins over the medium term. Interventions will be considered by the DMRE to reduce the price pressure for eliminating paraffin over the medium term. We're doing all of these things in line with our overall commitment to keeping money in the pockets of South Africans during these trying times, while at the same time restoring the health of our public finances. Minister Mantashe and I have released a joint statement which provides further details on this matter. I thank you, Deputy Speaker.